Hey guys, and welcome to our movie review channel.
2 Cent Movie Reviews.
I'm Nika.
And I'm Greg. And here we review some of the latest movies we've seen in theaters, as well as some of the movies we've seen on TV and Blu-ray.
Exactly.
Today, in our inaugural review, we will be reviewing the most recent movie we've seen, which is Logan. Logan.
Yeah.
Logan's rated R and stars the well-known actor Hugh Jackman that has played the role for 17 years. And in its finale, swan song of some sorts, Logan goes with the R rating, which is much more graphic, and gives a different tone for X-Men movies. So, a few things that we like to cover in our reviews are the day we saw the movie, which was Thursday. We actually did, for this movie, we did an early review, or early viewing, which is Thursday night. We'll let you know if it's worth seeing the first night, first weekend night, or if you can wait the next week to the next week or so, or if it's a great movie you want to get out and see immediately.
We prefer AMC Theater, which is where we go to all the time. There is two that we choose from when we prefer over the other one.
Yes.
So.
But we always try to get to our AMC theaters when we can.
Exactly.
But there are pros and cons. Theaters of your choice, your favorite. Always go with those. We're not paid by any movie theater, so nobody pays us.
We're giving our own honest reviews, not paid, completely our own opinion. And
unendorsed, which gets you the honest opinion of two movie viewers which have over 23 years of movie going each.
Experience.
Combined 46 together. More than that in our lifetime.
We're not that old though.
We're not that old. But yeah, so we have a wealth of movie experience, and we'd like to give you an honest and clear description or opinion of what we've seen and how we feel about it. So,
just normal, non-industry reviews is what we do here.
So, without any further ado, let's dig into our movie we saw and let you know what we thought.
Alright, do you want to go first or?
No. Yeah, you go ahead and start.
Okay, so thank you. Well, for me, it just wasn't what I expected. I am not the type of person that likes to see tens of thousands of trailers. 2 is good for me, but from the trailers that I did see, it just didn't hold its weight for me.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, honestly, the best part was the end, and that was kind of depressing because.
So, that I kind of mirrored that opinion. You know, while we're not the biggest comic book movie fans in the world, we do see every comic book movie that comes out. We've seen all of the Wolverine movies, a lot of Marvel movies, DC movies. This one was a different tone for me. The first night I left out a little underimpressed. Yeah. The movie does have a long running time. I think it's over 2.5 hours. I don't have the exact time. I'm going to say 212.
Kind of dragged out.
12 minutes. No, 2 hours, 12 minutes, I think. But it was a little drawn out. But the movie from itself did leave a lot of gaps if you're not a diehard Wolverine or Logan fan, X-Men fan in detail. You know, there are a lot of things that you have to know about it going into it. Some history about the character, obviously. Mm-hmm. In addition to that, the roles of the supporting characters, the new characters, as well as the carryover from the previous movies. Mm-hmm. So with that, you know, we kind of go off by, and if we don't understand a new character, we kind of fill it in for the movie. The movie did give you a good. Did do a good job of explaining what characters' roles were and how they kind of came about. Didn't go too much into the origins of a lot of characters because it was assumed that you knew
from previous movies.
Yeah, if you know who Wolverine was or Charles Xavier, then you're going to be lost in the way. But the movie did seem to drag out a little bit. It was I thought it was really slow. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of catching up to do, a lot of moments of emotional moments in the movie. They hung on a while to kind of get you engaged in what you knew was going to happen. Yeah. You know, so.
There were a few moments that kind of surprised me. And by the way, if you haven't seen the movie and you don't like spoilers, you probably don't want to watch this review, so just go ahead and turn away now.
Yeah, our title did have a spoiler review in it. Spoilers review of the movie. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's best to not watch our reviews if you haven't seen the movie, because we're going to talk in depth about the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, there were parts that had me a little confused as well, and I will keep going back to the end because that is where all of the attention grabbed me. But it kind of left me like, where are they going with this? Are they going to continue on, or are they going to just leave it be, or what is the point of what they did in the end of the movie? For me, personally, that's kind of where I was left. Now, I'm not saying I wasn't completely unentertained, because there were moments in the movie, but like we said, it kind of drug on. It was just a lot of the movie that could have been cut out, that was kind of unnecessary to me.
Yeah. Yeah, now I did have the luxury of going back and seeing it again. Yeah, later this weekend, the weekend after. We saw it on Thursday night. We went back and saw it Sunday. And the one thing I did notice that, although the first night we saw it, like I said, I didn't get a good impression of the movie. I did leave out of the theater really excited. The second one I left out with a little better impression of it. That was mainly because I had the opportunity to see it the first time, and I was able to glaze over some of the parts that I had to focus on the first time. And there's been a lot of movies we see like that, where the first time we see it, you go through it like, oh my goodness, this isn't what I expected. Age of Ultron came today. It came to mind when I saw that. I was thinking, it's too much going on here. But once I got a second chance to look at the movie, I was able to focus on some of the pieces that did make sense and think a little more about them, and kind of dig into some areas and see things were going on that made a little more sense from a moviegoer perspective, not from a comic book reader or a fan, comic book fan's perspective. That has a backstory and a knowledge of characters. So with doing that, I was able to watch it a little better and say, okay, this isn't as bad as I thought it was. I do think it could have been a little better. I think it could have been shorter. For non-comic book fans of Wolverine, which there are a lot of. There are a lot of fans that love Wolverine but never picked up a comic book at the end of their life. I think there were some areas in the movie that could have been approached a little better, a little more clarity provided to them, just so that people wouldn't feel like they just had to glaze over a piece. But I don't think it was the movie that I still don't think it was a movie I was expecting to see. I would have expected an Oscar-worthy movie or performance, but I was
expecting a little bit more though.
Yeah.
Considering it was a Wolverine movie. Now, for me, I was never really a huge fan of the X-Men movies, but I did see them all, and they were entertaining. Of course, I love the Wolverine character, so to me, it just didn't do it for me. And maybe if I saw it a second time, I would feel differently, because I have felt differently after seeing a movie a second time. The reason why we see movies more than once a lot of times is because we go see them together, and then we take the children. We want to see what it's all about first before we take the kids to see it, to make sure it's appropriate for them. So if you're wondering.
Yeah. So I guess I can kind of wrap it up and give my final thoughts on it. I think it's a worthwhile movie to see if you're a fan of Wolverine or a fan of the genre itself, and comic book movies in general. I do suggest seeing it. I am an IMAX fan, so any movie that's in IMAX, I will take that opportunity to see it in IMAX.
I don't care either way.
Yeah, you don't care. But the second time I saw it, I didn't see it in IMAX. I didn't have there wasn't a huge drop off from the IMAX and the standard version of it. The biggest obvious was the sound, and the picture wasn't as large, but the movie is such that it doesn't really require IMAX to give it its full, to be appreciated. Its full appreciation. Get your full appreciation. You still get a good quality of it. I mean, you don't miss out some of the scenes, kind of like some of the movies that are shot specifically for IMAX with larger scale scenes. This one didn't really need that, so I didn't really miss it. The sound and that piece of it I did miss. But if you had the opportunity to see this surround sound at different theaters, then I would definitely take that advantage. We did notice our first night going out, that early view, there were not a lot of lines. There were actually no line at all, really. There were maybe 20 people.
When we see big movies like that, there is a huge line. It's always crowded. And for me, I cannot stand people sitting next to me. And it was still a lot of space in the theater when
Yeah.
we went to see this movie.
Yeah. So a lot of that could be attributed to the fact that it was an R rating.
Yeah.
A lot of people typically with comic book movies, they're not R rated, with the exception of Deadpool. But even Deadpool had a long line. Headline.
Yeah, it did.
So, but this one, it was. I think the R rating of a Wolverine movie and the expectation of violence being increased gave people a little bit of a, I won't say a turn off, but it kind of pushed back some of the viewing you would have got on early night, and maybe pushed to Friday. We didn't go to Friday, but Sunday I was there late afternoon, and Sunday had a reasonably sized theater for a first weekend. I haven't looked at what the numbers are yet. As of the time, I haven't looked at what the numbers are projected for this weekend, but I'd be curious to see. I don't think it did. I would expect to do numbers of Deadpool did for a weekend, but I do expect some good numbers of it. All that being said, I think it was a well put together movie. And from a movie's perspective, the acting was spot on. The Daphne Lynn, the girl that played X-23, I think she did an excellent job for her age.
For a little kid,
Yeah, and the role that she was put into, Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart.
Now the acting, I completely give my hats off to those actors. I'm not saying anything against the acting skills of the movie. It's just the storyline basically is what did it for me, because everyone did a phenomenal job to me in the movie. Everyone that was in it that we recognized, some that we even didn't recognize, I think they did a phenomenal job. The children that were in the movie, especially the little girl, she did a great job. It was just that storyline for me. Yeah.
And that was one of the reasons why I could actually sit through it the second time. The acting and the flow of the movie overall, it worked. It was satisfying enough. I think if it weren't a Wolverine movie, I think I would have come out a little better.
Yeah.
And I think a little bit too. The first time I went in to see it, I was thinking, am I really not impressed because of watching them go through this destructive mode all through the movie? I don't think that was it, because it kind of mirrored the Batman Dark Knight Rises, where he's old, decrepit, and you watch him go down. But you knew, you had a feeling how the movie would end. You didn't know that it wasn't written for certain that, but enough news has been around that he's said this is his last one. So you have an idea that something has to end to kind of bring a closure to his portrayal of Wolverine. So, so I think we can vote as far as a day to see it. I mean, what do you think? Do you think is it Friday, Thursday, Saturday? What do you think?
I think had we gone to see it on like Friday night or Saturday night, it would have been more crowded than what it was on Thursday night. Yeah. Most of the time on Thursday. Now, there are certain movies that we'll see on a Thursday night, and then some movies we'll wait to see on like Friday night. But I mean, just coming from our experience going that Thursday night like you said, it wasn't the lines. We didn't have that huge crowd like it normally is on a Friday or Saturday night. So for me, I kind of prefer the Thursday nights. It's kind of tough because kids are still in school, but I would prefer seeing it on a Thursday night.
Yeah. And so I would say if you're a Wolverine fan and you love the movie, wait for it to come out. If you haven't already, because it's already passed. But it's definitely it's a go see. Yeah, it's a go see. Everyone's gonna have different experiences with it. If I had to wait till Monday or Tuesday to see it, and I saw that story, I probably would have had a better reaction. But like I said, going on Thursday night, maybe our expectations are a little different. Going on Thursday versus Friday or Saturday, but it's definitely a go see movie. Everyone's gonna have a different opinion of it because it's just such a different movie. And that's what I can say. It really is a different type of movie for a Wolverine or X-Men, or for that matter, any comic book movie. It really is different.
Yeah, because coming from the last movie that Logan was in, you kind of expected a little bit more. But considering where they went in the end of the movie, you kind of understand why it was like that.
Yeah.
Now, I do understand why. Just knowing that this is his last movie, then it kind of swelters off. But I don't want to give too much information, but one of the things that I said to Greg was, what is their plan for those children?
Yeah.
Because when you have the X-Men, you compare the X-Men and the Wolverine to the newer versions. These are natural. this is something that they were born with, whereas the children were created.
Yeah.
So it kind of leaves you to how this is going to affect future movies if they plan on going further with these created children.
And it kind of leaves you in a spot with the X-Men. I mean, they're the biggest thing with X-Men movies is that they do time jumps.
Yeah.
Where you have the Days of Future Past and then Apocalypse, and these movies happen in these time frames where Wolverine fits in. I mean, comic book folks will tell you about the back where Wolverine fits right in. I can't tell you. And that's kind of a confusing thing for me too as well, because when I get used to Days of Future Past and Apocalypse, then I get a Wolverine movie and try to put it in 2029. I know the Days of Future Past was the 60s and whatnot, but then he was there, but he time jumped back. So it's a little bit confused there. But we kind of get up a little bit to another area.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I would say it's a good movie to go see. Go out and see it.
Just for me, it was a side thumb.
Yeah, it's a side thumb.
That's what my son does. Side thumb.
Side thumb for this one.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a thumbs down, because it does have great points to it. It does have the positive I can say about it, that the human element is there. The character building that just the character detail they put here was spot on. It kind of almost hits me almost like kind of like a western, like an Unforgiven, or
if I had to say, like I said to you, I think just seeing that movie put me in the mindset of watching it on Sci-Fi Channel. If you put your mind there, this would be a great movie for Sci-Fi Channel. That's where I was with that. Yeah.
Yes. I'm in the Western realm zone because it was.
But
it was
they
gritty.
do show some movies like that on Sci-Fi.
Yeah, because it was gritty.
Yeah.
It was gritty. It was raw. I mean, there was special effects there, obviously, but it was nothing over the top. And there was no giant robots or machines that were doing these major things and taking over and all this. That wasn't there. It was raw. It was gritty. It was it was bare bones.
The action was there for me.
Well, yeah.
That was always spot on in the movie for me, but I keep my same opinion. It just wasn't completely there for me.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So final thoughts. We're not going to give it our final thoughts on it. I will add that I do think it's a DVD purchase.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to keep it with our collection.
Yeah. Yeah. For your collection, it's a decent purchase. I'm gonna say probably go in with open mind.
Yeah.
Take
our opinions and make your own from it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the second time I watched it, I got a different opinion of it. Slightly better. See it a third time, or maybe give it more time, but it's kind of like review it. They watch it over and over again until you finally catch it all.
Yeah.
There are key points. They're like, why is he sick? What's happening to him? What is really doing it to him? Why is he caring so much about this character? Where did this guy come from? Why is he so integral to his life?
Yeah.
Why is Professor X this happening to him? Why is he having these seizures? Why is this happening? And why are the Reavers looking for this guy and this girl? Why are they trying to... So as you put all the pieces together and figure it all out, the story will probably come together. I think from a first view, which most people go to the theater, and that's the thing, most people go to the theater, see it once, and they'll have an opinion of it. Very rarely when you go back and see a movie 2 or 3 times. Unfortunately, some of these movies, and this one in particular, in my opinion, takes 2 or 3 reviews to see it to get a full grasp of the story. And that's unfortunate because it's so long and there's so much going on about it. And you kind of lose pace in the movie. But
definitely go see.
Yeah. So definitely go see. Definitely go with an open mind. At first you don't really feel like you got a good grip on it. You're probably not alone.
Yeah.
It's probably take a second review of it, to get a little more time to dig into it and see what's happening, and to get a sound more structured opinion of the movie. But yeah, for right now, I've seen it twice. You've seen it once. We both say it's a go see.
I wouldn't mind going to see it again, but probably twice is all for me.
Yeah. So
yeah.
There you have it.
So that's our 2 cents, guys.
And look forward to new reviews on other movies.
There's a lot coming up that we will be seeing, and we don't have a consistent date as to when we will be posting, just by the way of the movies coming out and when we plan to see them. So we will upload as soon as we see something and give our review. You will have that up, but there is no set date and time.
Exactly.
So if there are movies out there already that you're considering going to see, movies that have came out maybe a few years ago or maybe even a couple of months ago that you want to know if we've seen them and you want to know our opinion, just ask us. You can contact us on social media or leave your questions in the comments and we will get back with you.
As quickly as possible.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. Yep. Music, you know that, and that's a good point you bring up movie from the past, because we do look at, we watch movies other than what's in theaters, like we said at the beginning. DVD, Blu-ray movies are released. Some movies are in theaters for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They on sale. They hit DVD, and we buy and watch them online.
Yeah, I know myself. I have people in my life that haven't seen certain movies, and they'll come ask us when they're ready to see it what we thought about it, because they know we go to the movies all the time.
Yeah. So there you have it. All right, Logan is out in theaters in your area. Pick up tickets, go check it out, and we hope you have a wonderful experience with it. All right. From here, this is Greg.
Nika.
Saying, have fun, watch movies, and be nice to your concession stand vendors.
Exactly.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.